Span of control. I like to call this the span of care in pastoral work, of course, but it's the same principle. Span of control very simply says that there's a limit in the number of people you can effectively supervise, that you can oversee, that you can actually be intimately involved in the day-to-day ongoing work that they're involved in. And so the average church goer expects that their pastor would be in touch with them personally. And unless they've grown up in a large church, like in a suburban area or someplace like that, or they've been to church so irregularly and unfaithfully that they have zero relationship or very little relationship with the pastor. But there's this assumption that the pastor is going to take care of my needs, and that's just an unreasonable expectation of a church of over 25 to 50 people. It's an unreasonable expectation. And one of the realities is that Jesus had 12 disciples, one of whom turned out to be Judas Iscariot. And so I'm not Jesus, and so neither are you. My expectation of my people is that you would have no more than 10 people that you're expecting to be able to supervise, to oversee, to be able to stay in contact with, to actually effectively and effectually care for. And that's the goal. And so the role of pastor or the key leader of the church, senior pastor, or whatever, is to make sure that all of the sheep are cared for. That's a vastly different thing than making sure that they take care of all of the sheep. And so there's that unique difference there. And so the system or the hierarchy, the production model, if you will, is one of a person caring for these people. And these people need to care each for that same number, or maybe there's a law. I would say that there's a law of diminishing returns applies, and so the lower down on the chain you go, generally the less motivated or capable people tend to be. There's vast exceptions to that, but in general people tend to work up a system, whatever that is, based upon their competency and their compassion or their care. And so the more they care and the more capable they are, the more they'll accomplish, and the more they accomplish, the higher up the echelons they tend to go. So that is certainly a principle, but that there are many exceptions to that, especially in the church world where volunteers are giving of their time and the capacities that they're capable of. And of course, there's a huge number of a huge number of variables that impact that. And so I would say that in this model, the first thing you need to know is that you are not responsible as the key leader of your organization to take care of everyone. You are responsible to make sure that everyone is taken care of. And in order to do that, you need a team. And that team needs to be people that are iterative. In other words, don't invest in dead ends, because then the investment stops. You get very little return on the investment. Now, to some degree, obviously, discipleship involves bringing people into the faith, and there's some people that will dead end themselves, but in many ways, the ROI on investment of time into individuals should be maximized to impact the care of the most number of people. And so if you invest in somebody that invests in somebody that invests in somebody, that's a far greater benefit. Even with the law of diminishing returns, if you take care of 10 people, and they each take care of 9 people who each take care of 8 people. Obviously, the math never works out that perfectly. But if you do that, then you can make sure that your people are actually cared for. And your focus upon the people that you directly care for, that directly report to you, is not because they are more important, but it's because through them more people are cared for. Some people get lost in a hierarchy and begin to think it represents the value of the individual where they're at in that hierarchy. No, it's the value of the result of impact on that person towards other people. So if you have the option to invest in someone that will invest in one other person, or to invest in someone that will invest in 5 other people, the obvious answer is the right answer. Span of care or span of control. There is a limit to the number of people you can actually take care of. So make sure you're investing in people that will invest in other people.